Hey guys, welcome to Whitney's Watchlist. This is my first series review. I'm so excited. I didn't really think I was going to do series reviews, but I was so excited about this series that I really wanted to do a review on it, so here we go. This is a review on The Witcher. It took me a while to start the show because I think it came out around Christmas, maybe, and I just had so much going on that I hadn't started the show. But I started it right before I went on vacation because our flight was delayed. So I ended up starting watching the show and really got hooked. And then I downloaded some more episodes and watched it on the plane. And I love it. I absolutely love it. So let's get into it. So the whole premise of the show, honestly, is that this guy, Geralt of Rivia, is connected to Princess Ciri of Cintra. Somehow, this mage by the name of Yennefer is involved in their storyline somehow. So the whole show is about Ciri, aka Ciri, running away from Cintra because all hell breaks loose, trying to get to Geralt. Meanwhile, Geralt is off gallivanting the world. So I had to do some digging on this a little bit. I had to read a few articles just to get a little bit more backstory on this because The Witcher is a book that has been adapted to a Netflix TV show. So the creator of the show is Lauren Schmidt, but I think the original author, his name, I know that I can't pronounce, but I'm trying to find it. Found it. Okay, it was created by a Polish author by the name of, I'm just putting it on the screen. That's the name. There's only 8 episodes, okay? And I watched them all maybe within 3 days, maybe 4. I think the pilot wasn't a wow factor for me, but it was interesting enough where I wanted to watch the second episode. I think what made the first episode interesting was that we were introduced to a female queen who was so powerful, who just had such a commanding presence, and apparently she was very notable in war. And I just really liked that in 2020 that we had such a strong female character in that position. Of course, also in the season we meet Geralt of Rivia, who is the Witcher. And I'll be honest, I didn't think that I would like the show so much because Geralt is so monotone and he's just so like one note that I didn't think that I would be interested enough in the series. But the other characters are built so well around him that it actually doesn't matter. I read this one article, and I'll put it below, that compared The Witcher to Hercules, because a lot of people were saying, okay, is it like Game of Thrones? And this article I read was really saying it's not, and I actually agree. It's really not like Game of Thrones. It has some elements as far as just fantasy in general and just, you know, being set in a time period way before our own. But it's not as quite detailed as Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is very, very careful in how they crafted their story, their characters, the setting. Everything was really well thought out. I think it'll be very hard for anybody to recreate something like Game of Thrones. I do think The Witcher is a good series for Game of Thrones fans to try to fill their fantasy void that they're now missing because Game of Thrones is over. This whole series is really The Witcher who battles these like monsters, and he ends up getting himself in these scenarios that he says he doesn't really want to be in but ends up being involved in anyway. We get to see some emotion that a lot of people keep saying that witches don't have emotions, but he actually does. It's never explicitly said by him that he doesn't, people just think that he doesn't. It wasn't till about episode 3 or 4 where you realize we're in different time zones here. I was interested enough to keep watching and find out that all of these storylines were taking place at different time periods. And eventually you begin to connect them. Eventually. Do I think it ruined the show? No. Do I think it could have been better? Perhaps. I don't think it was a huge component for me because up until the point where you realize that they're different time periods, you're still thinking all of this is happening simultaneously. So I think it kind of worked. I think the actress who plays Yennefer, which is the main sorceress or mage, did a really great job in the first 2 episodes playing a deformed person. I honestly looked up her to see if she was actually deformed. I was like, wow, did Netflix actually hire a deformed person? That's so progressive. But no, it was just makeup, so. But she did a really good job of selling it. I really believed that she was deformed. But then of course she goes on her journey and she's beautiful, and you know, she goes through her whole transition and then she becomes Yennefer, whoever she is. I like how much action is in the show. Sometimes I felt like when I was watching Game of Thrones, you could be watching a whole episode and nothing happens. It's really just dialogue and setup and background, and you're like waiting for like a big moment to happen. So I actually think the series did a really good job of moving the story along, but also you got a good action scene that you can kind of enjoy. I think the driving force behind this show is that you're trying to figure out what Princess Ciri's power is. And through some backstory, you understand that her mother had what they called a primal power, but you're not quite sure what she can do with it yet. So I think that is what I'm most interested in finding out in season 2, which apparently is not until 2021. But that's what I wanted to find out. Like, what is this power that this girl has? Like, I know she can do some cool things. She's kind of defensive, so that's cool. But like, can she do more? Is she more powerful than a mage? Like, what is this? Also, I'm not sure if Geralt's bond to Ciri is supposed to be romantic. I don't think so, because it kind of feels odd. She's so young right now that I don't think it will progress into a romantic relationship. But also, I've never read the book, so I do not know. There's a lot of cities mentioned, but I don't think that you really need to pay super attention to them. There's like 3 main places you need to know: Aretusa, Nilfgaard, and Sintra. Those are the main 3 places that you really need to kind of focus on. I think if you're able to keep up with those 3 locations and what's going on at each place, then you'll be able to follow the show. I really like Geralt's bard, the singer. The songs that he created got in my head. He's actually just the comedy relief in the show, and it's actually really, really funny. I think he helps balance the show's seriousness, pretty much. I think the show was interesting enough. It gave you enough nuggets to want to keep watching. You wanted to see what was going to come out of the relationship between Yennefer and Geralt, since they have an on and off again relationship, and you're not really quite sure what wish Geralt made when he had his last final wish. You're really interested in how Princess Ciri's relationship with Geralt is going to save the world, so to speak. Also, you're interested in Yennefer's power, and is she going to get the power she really wants? And is she going to be able to bear children again? Because that's what she's really after. I'm definitely going to be watching season 2 when it comes out a year from now, but tell me what you thought. Tell me if you liked it, if you hated it, if you're going to watch it, if you weren't going to watch it, but maybe now you will, and let me know.
Check out this video, that video, or go ahead and subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.